Burnley 0, Arsenal 5. 11 goals in the space of a week. Arsenal are well and truly in this title race, and not only that, they're well and truly very much in the goal scoring race as well. This is the Arsenal post-match phone-in show, a rarity, but one we are going to make very much the most of. Hello and welcome to the Gonna Talk, back again with you guys for another episode of what is not so often are we able to do this show. This is a post-match phone, and usually I'm working on a match day, and today I'm not. So I can sit here and do a post-match phone-in with you and get some of your thoughts and feelings after that fantastic victory at Turf Moor. 5 goals on the day. Bukayo Saka really is hitting some fine form. Who knows if he's world class? Frankly, I don't care, because all he's doing is scoring for us at the moment. And Kai Havertz getting another goal. Waka waka. I'm not going to do it still. And of course, we've got some other fantastic goals. Leandro Trossard getting in on the act. Martin Odegaard opening the scoring very early on in the game as well. A really, really good day all round, and one to be very, very happy about indeed. If you would like to join our phone-in show, it is very, very simple. There is a link for you to do that. I'll be posting it into the chat box throughout, and all you need to be is over the age of 18. You need a webcam. If you don't have a webcam, you can't get on. That's the first rule, because I need to make sure you're over the age of 18, of course. So we're going to be getting into some of our calls very, very shortly. If you have can be in a quiet place to record as well, that would be fantastic too. So we're going to start taking some of your calls very, very shortly. But first, we're going to jump into the chat box and say hello to some people in here. I set the stream up during the show, so there's already a fair few people that are dropping in. And by the way, a massive thank you to those that are joining us and have been joining us to drop likes in on the morning video. We hit over 1,000 likes as per. Thank you. Do drop a like on this show as well. Let's see how high we can get this one. As many goals as Arsenal are going to score this season. Daniel says, please, can we take a moment to laugh at that lot down the road? Not only did Arsenal win 5-0, but Spurs losing as well. Amazing. Amazing. Right, let's get our first call into the show. It's Tom joining us first. Tom, is your camera working? Doesn't seem like his camera's working at the moment. Tom, I'll let you try and sort that out in a second, and maybe we'll get you on as well. We have got some phone lines open just while we wait for Tom to sort his camera out. You may need to leave and rejoin for it to fix itself. Yes, that link, if you would like to join and have your say on that fantastic victory, the link to do so is in the description. As I say, you need to be over the age of 18 and you need to have a camera. I can see there's a few people that are waiting without cameras. So you need to turn those on to get on the show. So please make sure you do that. Trying to type messages, sort a chat out, sort a show while hosting is a hell of a multitasking ability. Benjamin says, what do Arsenal men's and women's teams have in common? Both have put 3 past United at the Emirates. Indeed, a fantastic win for the women's side of the WSL today as well. It's raining goals if you are indeed an Arsenal fan. DJ says, big up Gary O'Neill, stitch up Bournemouth and rocking it with Wolves as well. He was really stitched up by Bournemouth, wasn't he? Really was treated horrifically by Bournemouth. Guna 76, 11 goals in 2 games, 2 clean sheets. Get in. And Bradley says, Burnley are awful. You're not wrong. Burnley are terrible. Andrew says, another great win, laughing at Spurs. What a day or nights. Have to catch this pod on catch up because it's 4:07 a.m. and I need to sleep. I don't blame you, Angela, but thank you for tuning in. Robert says, right, now we need to go and smash the barcodes next week. Yeah, the black and white stripes of Newcastle need to be beaten at the Emirates next week. But first, we've got a Champions League game. We can't forget about that. Arsenal, of course, against Porto, and we'll be playing against Porto on Wednesday night in Portugal. But we've got to take, surely, a lot of loads of what's the word I'm looking for? Encouragement, if you like. So I look forward to speaking to plenty of fans in today's show. We're going to try and get our first couple of callers on. Still, it seems that people are struggling with cameras. Temmie sorted out his camera, so we're going to get Temmie involved. Temmie, how you doing, mate? You good? You well? Temmie, can you see me, hear me? I don't think so. Daniel's joining us now. How you doing, Dan? You good? You well?
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
Very good, mate. Loving the shirt. Fantastic.
Yeah, I was playing a bit of golf this morning, so
Indeed,
thought
indeed.
I'd rock out the Arsenal golf shirt.
What'd you ring in to say, mate? What a win that was today.
I know what I'm ringing to say actually is like all of last season and this season so far. Can you remember 3 straight performances at that level?
Oh, I'm trying to 3 in a row successively going back. Wow, that's a hell of an ask of my memory, but I mean, that's the point, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
Off the top of our head, we can't. Why has it been so good? What's changed?
I think to be honest, I think the squad were a bit tired. I think they needed the Dubai trip, and then I think. And the thing for me at the minute is, when I talk to workmates, friends of mine who are neutral, who don't support any of the 3 clubs in the title race, everyone keeps saying City are going to go on a run, 12, 15 game where they win straight. Why can't we do that?
Well, we can. We clearly can. We see Manchester City and Liverpool obviously blow teams away rather regularly over the last few years as they've gone and hit 90-plus point seasons. But we've not necessarily had this ability to smash teams by 4, 5, 6, of course, in the case of last week. And you're right. I think you're right to bring up the Dubai trip. I think that refreshed things somewhat. And there's sometimes I wish if we had better depth, we could bring on even better players and continue to score more goals. It did feel like the tempo dropped quite a bit when we made the changes.
Yeah, I agree. I was disappointed not to see Eddie get his goal today. I thought, I thought just to up his confidence a little bit. Because I guess right now you'd say he's 4th choice striker. He's pretty low down the pecking order with Havertz and Trossard coming in there. The other thing as well, I think that we do need to see some guys come back from injury in the next few weeks. When I saw the bench today, it looks pretty light on there.
Yeah, it's quite scary to think that we have 6 senior players missing from the side that's just scored 11 goals in 2 games. We still don't have Timber or Partey or Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, Jesus. None of them are yet still back in this Arsenal team. Who was the standout performer for you today?
Oh, Martin Odegaard, without a doubt.
Yeah. Glorious, isn't it? So
and you know what? I'm glad to see people starting to recognise that, because there was a bit of criticism at the start of the season. His goal and assist numbers maybe haven't quite been the same as they were last year, but he's just the best player on the park by a mile, and it's becoming a pretty regular thing out there. Saka as well. I was a little bit worried when he got the pretty unfortunate yellow card at the end of the first half. I'm thinking last thing we need is a Saka red before Newcastle next week, but thankfully we managed to get him another goal and get him off in cotton wool.
Yeah, I know, and having that time to rest him ahead of Wednesday was really, really important. And you're right about Odegaard, utterly stunningly good. A goal and an assist, of course, today. Was it 1 or 2? I think it was just the 1 assist on the day. But just stunningly good and consistent in his game as well. Daniel, final thoughts before we move on to our next caller.
More of the same, please. Loving it recently. Thank you very much for having me, Tom.
No, of course, mate. Pleasure. Thank you for calling in, my friend.
Cheers, Tom.
Cheers, Daniel. Much appreciated for jumping into the chat. Plenty of love being shown to him in the chat box as well. You can, of course, join on your phone as well. Your phone does work. You just need to copy that link into your what's it called? The URL into Safari, and it'll work. But the link is down in the description. Let's see if Temmie's microphone's working now. Temmie, can you hear me? Can you see me? That's a no. Okay, we tried. Elliot, how you doing, mate? You good? You well?
Not on lunch break today there, Tom. How are you?
Yes, very good, my friend. It's Saturday. Why would you be on your lunch break there? But I say that I work weekend, so does the missus. The missus will work right now. But what a win that was today, mate.
Today was a fabulous win. Listen, we're irresistible at the moment. It's I don't know, whatever they did in Dubai, go back and again and do it again, because quite simply we've come back a new side this half. We're Arteta's changed his tactics to perfection. We are just truly going through the gears right now, and long may it continue.
It's been fantastic. I think the momentum that we've got, the self-belief we have, and the ruthlessness as well, because Arsenal sides of the past, we could get a goal and then we'll just kind of sit back and the other team gets back into the game. We're not letting any other teams get back into these games anymore.
No, we're not. I think Arteta has instilled it in the side that, quite simply, goal difference is everything. And especially when you're going against the likes of Man City and Liverpool, it's an arms race right now, and it's about who last goal wins really, and it's been shown through our last results and through the results of our opponents as well, and our rivals at the top of the league. We need it's an impetus we need now. We're number one in goal difference, so again that can go bode us well at the end of the year. But again, this is superb what we're seeing right now, and again, this it's just the beginning. I cannot wait for the summer. I cannot wait for who else we bring in this side, so that we can further bolster the side and make us that much more formidable going into the future years.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've got so many players still missing as well, which is we were talking about with Daniel a second ago. 6 senior players out. Smith obviously came back and came off the bench today. Was there any annoyance by you not seeing any of the kids play? Because again, another high score line, Sweet and Bandera there. Do you understand why you didn't use them?
Yeah, I would say so. I would have thought, give the kids a chance. Give them some experience out there, because quite simply, Burnley were there for the taking. It was a training exercise, pretty much second half, and when we were up 3-4-0, and I think it was in there the 70th minute really, and it was an opportunity to give the youngsters a chance and give them experience out there. But again, I think he sees the Champions League ahead. I think he wants some of the older players to get some some minutes in the legs and get them ready for what's to come. But going back to what you say in terms of injuries, I think you'll see a good amount of influx coming into the side, especially in the midweek. I think Tomiyasu will be back. I think Vieira will be back. Not surprised if Jesus comes back. Not surprised if dare I say Partey will return. So again, it's I think he's saving those sort of players for the Champions League, for Newcastle upcoming, because again, I think there'll be more robust challenges, and we're going to need those sort of senior players to come to the fore. But again, I think he wants more minutes and more legs and more fitness available for the elder players and the more senior statesmen.
Absolutely. Elliot, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you, my friend, and thank you for calling in.
Cheers, mate. Great win, and I'm glad you're home, buddy, so you can just have a relax for the day.
Indeed, yeah, it's nice. 5.5 hour train it would be back from Burnley, so I'm quite glad I'm not doing that this afternoon.
No, you don't have to make that trip, mate.
Oh no, happy days. All right, I'll speak to you, mate. Thank you.
Right.
Cheers, Elliot. Much love. Let's see if it's third time lucky for Temi. Let's see if it works. Temi, are you there, my friend?
I hope it works now.
It's working. Yes, I love that. You looked like such a mug when the last 2 times, just staring at the camera, no answer. But it's great we got it working. The phone sometimes does make it a lot better, and it does work. But tell me, Temi, first of all, it's nice to put a face to the name. Thank you. I know you're a very, what's the word I'm looking for, dedicated listener to the channel. But tell me how you're feeling after that victory.
I actually feel so good right now. I must say, at the end of December last year, it felt like it was all going wrong. So, but I don't know what happened in Dubai. Maybe the steak, whatever.
Salt Bay. That's who it was. Yeah. He solved our season.
Seems like it's gotten into their heads now, and they are playing really well. There's so much tactical awareness in the side. There's a lot of defensive solidarity as well. And I think we are scoring goals now as well. So probably we don't need a striker.
Is that what you're saying? We don't need a striker?
I was calling for maybe Sesko, maybe I loved Harry Kane as well, but unfortunately he left for Bayern. But yeah. I don't really think we need one anymore though.
Wow. I think you're brave saying that, but fair play, mate. I know what you're saying. Though. I think that there's something about the way we're playing where you consider what would an out-and-out number 9 change, and would it kind of destabilize the free-flowing movement that we have? Because Trossard or Jesus or these types of centre forwards, when they're so fluid in their movement and they kind of interchange, and you see that the wide players drop into those central positions as well. would it destabilize it? I'm not sure. I understand. I still think personally, I think we should go out and sign a striker. I'd love to see it happen, but I do see where people's concerns about maybe shaking things up too much are. But go on.
Okay, yeah, something about Arteta's game. I think it involves forwards more than strikers. So if we could have a good striker that was also comfortable with linking up, bringing in the forwards, it would work. But there aren't that many strikers like that out there, you know. So that's why I'm not too enthusiastic about a striker.
And do you still think I'm Arteta's lawyer?
Well, I'm your lawyer now. I already told you. I'm your lawyer now. You know, I think I've started seeing the lights. You know,
you've seen the light now.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time, Temi. I'm glad we managed to sort out the phone call in the end. But cheers for tuning in, my friend.
Thank you for having me on your show.
No problem at all. My pleasure. Thank you to Temi. Let's get Salahuddin into the call, and then we've got Tom coming up next after that, and then Stephen. How you doing, mate? You good? You well? Can you see me, hear me?
Hi, I can see you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, mate. I can.
Okay, that's great.
Guardian masterclass in the second half is what I've seen you've written there. So tell me, how good was he?
Oh, it was a masterclass in the second half. He was pulling the strings, you know, making passes left and right, and you know, he made the game to be in a calm situation. So all the kind of fouls, the stop and play we saw in the first half, it was quite reduced in the second half, because you will have noticed that we did less than 200 passes at the end of the first half, and it was because of the way Burnley were coming at us again and again. But after the 2 goals and coming into the second half, they wanted to do it again. But immediately, Odegaard, you know, was pulling the strings and, you know, putting the passes to Martinelli, Havertz, and Saka. It just made the game to be in a very calm situation for us, and I really enjoyed that, because you could have noticed that Odegaard in the last couple of weeks has received a lot of criticism that he's not scoring goals. He's only pressing, you know, doing all the front pressing and all. But now it's good to see that the end results are coming in, because it's always a case of if you don't try the first time, you don't succeed. You have to try your luck to be able to get a chance to score goals. So, which was quite great.
Absolutely. I think that Odegaard is proving. Yeah, I think I tweeted the other day saying if you've been a stalwart Odegaard critic, that you kind of been made to look quite a bit of a fool this season by, you know, Odegaard. He's not scoring as free-flowing as last season when he had 15, you know, goals from open play. But that's a goal and assist today. He had a really good performance against Liverpool when we played them. I thought he was good at Anfield as well. And obviously, I think he's had good games in big matches this season. And he's kind of proving that rhetoric of that he can't do it. It's consistent. We can't do it in the bigger games. But he was massive at West Ham. He was really good again today. What did you make of Kai Havertz out of interest?
Yeah, Kai Havertz, he was like a 7/10 for me. You know, there were some instances in which you expected him to do much better with the ball, but I feel he had an okay performance. With the goal, he kind of, you know, glossed over some of his return balls that he made to other teammates. So, but, you know, we can still see much better from him, you know, in some instances. So you notice the goal that Trossard scored, the ball came to him first, and then it was like he missed it or something, and then before
Trossard didn't really get a good of a touch.
Exactly.
On it,
there wasn't like a strong touch to it. So so it was like an okay performance. So that's what I would do. I don't want to criticize him.
No,
like,
of course.
You know, before. So that's what
I
would say.
I thought he had a good game. I think actually off the ball he worked really hard. I think some of his runs were excellent, and maybe if the execution of some of those passes to find him after that throw, and you know, his movement is so good. I just hope that he can start to build up the confidence and the execution of his kind of delivery of what he wants to do, as you say, because there was that ball over the top that he touched to the right when he kind of should have taken it into his body, and Trossard then comes onto it, and he leads to a chance of Arsenal scoring instead. But I thought he had a good game, and we're doing this show after Liverpool have won. Manchester City are about to play Chelsea as well. Obviously, Liverpool won, and that creates. I mean, it's a frustration because they go to Brentford, and you're like, well, that's a game that you'd hope that maybe they might be able to lose some points. They haven't. They've scored 4 goals as well. We just have to keep winning, don't we? I suppose that's just the only way forward. You just can't look outside. You just need to keep winning the next game.
Yeah, you have to keep doing your own thing, and I kind of like the way the fixtures is placed right now, because most times we are playing after our title rivals are playing. So you kind of like see what they do, and then you now have to rise up to the occasion. So lose a game, then you have to rise up to the occasion to pounce on that. And if they win a game, then you have to make sure that you are motivated by that to do your own thing. No pressure, just do your own thing and just move along to the next game. So one game at a time.
Salah, thank you so much for joining me, mate. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Massive love to Salah as well, and really spoke really well, especially on Odegaard, who I absolutely agree with was utterly fantastic. Let's bring Tom, fantastically named Tom, into the conversation. How you doing, mate? You good? You well?
I'm doing great, Tom. How are you?
Very good, mate. Very good. Can't complain, really. I've been able to sit in bed, chill without going to a game in Burnley 5.5 hours away in the wet and the cold. And I'm going to have a great day tomorrow on shift writing about how good it was. But yeah, how about you?
Yeah, I was great as well, watching the game, enjoying Arsenal basically scoring for fun. I mean, it's not, I don't know how to say it, but even both those games, it's, in some games, like for example, the Liverpool game, you get this feeling in your stomach that something might happen. Even no matter how confident you are, you always have this feel. And in the last 2 games, I was so relaxed during the game. I mean, I didn't expect any. To tell you the truth, I barely get anxious when they go near us, because I mean, you see the XG, it's nowhere. I mean, you don't feel threatened at any point of the game.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look on XG philosophy. It was Arsenal conceded 0.00 XG against Burnley today. That's crazy. That's ridiculous.
Exactly. And you know something, you mentioned the game against the Liverpool game against Brentford, which, by the way, they were awful. I mean, the way they defend is, I mean, Liverpool are overperforming. I mean, in a game that really looks that could have gone either way, they win 4-1, which I saw the XG. It was for Brentford, it was 1 point something. And Liverpool, I mean, the really, I mean, you look at all the stats, all the point XG, everything, they're really overperforming. And I think and unlike us, and everybody talking, since Dubai and the way we performed and everything, and after the West Ham loss and the Fulham loss, and I think what's happening now is basically we're actually starting to show what the numbers were expected to be, because everybody spoke about it, that during this bad period, our XG was crazy. I mean, we conceded out of nothing, and we couldn't score our bases goal. I mean, our bases point blank ranges, and we couldn't score
XG was 2.61 today, and we outscored that by nearly double.
Yeah, I know, but and sometimes it happens as well, and that's fine. I mean, we take we kind of had half chances, but we did score today, which it's okay, but in general, our XG against and for is basically just even in what I feel is that since the Dubai, it's just evened out. I mean, we had bad period of underperforming XG, and now we're around the XG a bit overperforming it, and that's why now it looks like we're a brand new team. But it's basically just, I mean, the only thing that changed from the bad period to the new period is basically we're just bearing the goals. We're taking our chances. That's the only difference it is. I don't think we play more fluid. We basically we look pretty much the same. I mean, very dominant, tactical, moving the ball around, no striker needed. I mean, all the things. And so that's what I'm saying. And that's why, you know, when we speak about the conversation comparing us to last year, if we're more ready, that's why I think we're more ready. And all the good things are coming at the good time, because now we're February. Remember last February, we actually lost 2 games. This is, I mean, you know, people talk about the Liverpool game in March and April and all the drop off there, but we actually started our drop off at February last year, because at last year we lost to Everton and then we lost to City. And this is where we started the drop off in the second half of the year. So actually now we're in the second half of the year, only 2 points behind Liverpool, and we're actually at our peak at the right time. And may it continue. I mean, especially now with the players that should be coming back in the next games or so. And by the way, it was very good to see Smith Rowe back. I was very happy to see him, because as you said, and everybody was basically writing him off, and it was happy with just 1 game, and now we can integrate it again and maybe get a good second half of the season. And
he made an impact in that game he started against Forest, I thought, and you know, he looks energetic, he looks determined in what he was trying to do.
He looks very good.
He wanted to take that opportunity to shoot. Go on.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to what Havertz does. I think he has a lot of energy. He moves a lot. His movement is very good, like very similar to Havertz. That's why I actually like him as well in the number 8, as well as Havertz, and I will get to it as well here because I want to mention him especially. And I think once he get a bit more chance to show himself, he'll get the goals, and he gets everything, because you see the movement. At some point, it will just click. Yeah. And once it's click, I think we'll start seeing Smith Rowe, and I'll be very hopeful it comes sooner than later.
Indeed, Tom. I was just going to say, I was going to jump in and say with Smith Rowe, I think that what we'll see from Smith Rowe gradually is when he gets confidence in himself, because he's been out for so long, he's been frustrated with injuries. If he can get some regular game time, I think we will see the best of him. But that's the challenge. Last words, Tom.
I want to give special mention to Kai Havertz, because one thing probably one of the things that I disagree with you is regarding Kai Havertz in the middle of the field.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, get him out of there.
No. And I tell you what, this season, Arteta did something very, very interesting, because what he did actually with the middle field, with the playing with the 2 fronts instead of because of our dominance, in most games, unlike the Liverpool game or the City game, we actually played with 2 defensive midfield. Most games we can create our dominance pretty easily, even with 2 fronts. And Kai Havertz, the way he adds the chaos element, the movement, the unknown. I mean, in all of our attacks, every time something good happens, even if Kai Havertz is not in the end of it, or the assist or putting the goal, he's always doing something. He's always there. He always is part of the movement, and he helps us to create so much threat with him around the box with his movement. And I think a lot of people don't see it, and they don't understand the genius that Arteta is, the way he uses Kai Havertz, the way he helps him. And by the way, the goal was fantastic, because the goal was basically a show of confidence, because the guy doing everything right. Yeah, even the moment that even the goal, the Trossard goals. Yeah, so he got a half chance. He tried to put it. You know, someone blocks him, but he still makes things happen. And
he does.
When you make things happen, either someone gets a goal or someone gets an attempt. So he always in the middle of things, and I think he's so important to the way we play, especially when he's the number 8. When we play the smaller team, the deep blocks, he's so important at that. And of course, when we play the big teams, you change him. You put him in the front. You add him to the front, and you play with the two DMs, and he does a different role there. So he's. I mean, people ask me. I have a friend who always likes to ask me if Kai Havertz was the 65 player. Who obviously is a Chelsea fan,
Sure.
and I always say yes.
Fair enough. I don't think he is yet. I personally don't think he's justified.
I think he is, and even if he's not yet 65, I think that the adding what he adds. I mean, I don't care the price. I mean, the price.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's just a number. In the end of the day, I prefer to have those type of players as part of our squad than at 20 something. But that's my opinion. But
no, that's fair enough.
So,
I think for me with Kai Havertz, I think he does his best work in and around the box. I think that's probably fair, which is why when we have the players available, he probably doesn't start in my best 11 for us. But I do like him having him in the squad, and I think that he's brought something to us this season. Tom, thank you so much for tuning in and calling. I really appreciate your time, and it's always a pleasure to catch up, mate.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Thanks, Tom. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate. Lovely stuff. Let's bring in Rod to the conversation. How you doing, Rod? You good? You well?
I'm good. I'm good, Tom. Tom, I'm scared. I'm really scared at the moment. No. I'm scared that we're scoring too many goals at this moment.
What do you mean, too many goals?
This
I've scored too many goals.
Too hot right now, and I think, do you know what? It's an ode to the kind of pacing that we've seen Pep do in the last sort of campaigns that Man City have had, where they've started off nice and slowly, and then they've sort of increased the tempo as the season's gone on, and sort of the last few months of the year, Man City are typically burning on gas mark 6, cooking, scoring left, right, and centre, blitzing teams, getting that win streak. So it's very, very good to see. But today, just honestly, the Premier League need to test what these boys were doing out there in Dubai. That's my thoughts.
Told you, mate. It's Salt Bay. He solved our season. Whatever was in that salt, it's done the business.
we need to be visiting Dubai every single year, because honestly, what the boys have been doing since coming back from that trip has been nothing short of fantastic. But I think similar to what the last caller said, a lot of it has just been about finishing chances, finishing your dinner. We spoke last time, and I mentioned about sort of Odegaard getting into that ozone and then popping off that shot, which he did today. We got the early opener, and that kind of opened things up. So, it's crazy to think that if we'd have spoken about this time of the season last year and said that we'd be without Jesus, without Zinchenko, without Partey,
Timber.
Injuries to Vieira, Timber, exactly. And we'd still be competitive. I don't think many of us would have agreed that was possible.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's so true. Like, I remember having conversations with people like in November, December time, saying like the depth isn't good enough. Look at our bench. And I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at our bench and it's missing loads of players. Now we fast forward to February and we're still missing loads of players, but we're still winning games. And I think that festive period is a frustration. Those games that we lost to West Ham and to Villa and to drawing at Anfield and obviously losing to Fulham as well. Yeah, that sucks. But in a way, we might needed to have had those games. That we might have needed to learn some lessons from those games to prepare us for what has been, besides the FA Cup defeat, a perfect start in the league at least to 2024. I think we've won every game. Besides the FA Cup fixture in 2024. It's been, and we've scored 5, 7, 10, 16, 21 goals in 5 league games, averaging more than 4 goals. Is that right, maths? I think it is. More than 4 goals a game. So at the moment, we're tracking well ahead of where we were at the same place now last season in terms of goals scored and goals against. We're still obviously a bit of a points deficit compared to where we were at the same stage last season, but what we're producing now. And I think you raised a really good point, Rod, actually, about how we're cooking right now, because you're right to use the City example. Last season, they tweaked things. They were a little bit stuttery at the beginning of the campaign, and then they just went on this winning run and never looked back. And if Arsenal can do that as well, and don't forget that we've got a very interesting game at the end of next month at the Etihad, and if we can get to that game against Manchester City, still unbeaten, still maybe not even unbeaten, winning every single game up until that fixture, and go into that game with such confidence, surely that gives us so much momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to give a lot of credit to the higher ups for identifying a lot of the gaps and finding solutions to those, because you know, we might look at like a Havertz, for example, and you know, not identify him as the best fit for one position, but what he does offer us is good utility in the various positions, similar to Trossard as well, and that has its pros and cons. It means that, you know, when there are absences in the teams, that we do have people that are capable of doing the job to a good standard at the very minimum. And yes, I mean, over the past sort of 2-3 years, the squad building has been fantastic, albeit, you know, some minor injuries that we've had that have kind of hampered us as well. But yeah, add to that as well, Mikel's done a fantastic job over the last sort of 18 months, and it's really becoming very, very evident. You know, the minor tactical tweaks that we're seeing him make are very, very visible in the games we're playing. The sort of choosing to use Ben White in the middle as opposed to sort of Kivior when he's injured, the switching between sort of Havertz and Trossard, and you know, a lot of those sort of minor tactical changes, they're really showing on the pitch, and we need to give Mikel a lot of credit for that, because, you know, we're remaining as competitive as we wanted to be, and that's probably the minimum expectation at this moment in time, right? We're up against some juggernauts in the league, and there's no guarantee that we'll win anything, but at the very minimum, the expectation is to be very, very competitive.
And which we are proving to be right now. You know, we've beaten Liverpool, we've beaten Manchester City, we haven't lost a single game against the Big Six side all season. It's looking very good at the moment. Rod, thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure to chat with you.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Have a good rest of your day. Lovely stuff. Really appreciate Rod jumping on. Let's get Stephen on next. Stephen's coming on. How you doing, Stephen? You good? You well?
Hi, Tom. How you doing, mate?
I'm very good, mate.
Too great, mate. Pleased to be speaking to you at last.
Likewise. Good to see you also. I remember speaking with you in person at our live event in the Hippodrome, actually.
Yep.
And it was fantastic to see you there. It's fantastic to see you now. What a win today, eh?
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well, they've all been brilliant. The last 3 or 4 results have been brilliant. I think really a couple of your guests have pointed it out. But I said earlier in the season, just before Christmas, that Arteta, what he's been doing, has been very clever. He's learned how to control games first, and by playing slow and controlling the game and everything and winning. And what I think he's doing is a reverse of last season. So he's given us the control. Now we've got the control. Now we're going to go what we were last season at the beginning, going home to a certain degree. And we're going to start playing like we did in the first half of the season, or the first 3 quarters of the season.
Yeah,
and I think sorry.
No, just said I think you're spot on, mate.
Yeah, well, I said this earlier in the season. A lot of people go, no, we're not playing right. We're not playing right. But we were playing right because he's seen what he needed to do. We were running out of steam from last season. This season, we're not going to run out of steam. And we are ahead of Man City, you know, and I think when they took over from us. And we're actually sort of like putting the pressure on them. Liverpool, I think, will slip away eventually. I think they'll come and stay against Man City and that, because they haven't had a really bad run yet.
Yeah.
And us and City have both had bad runs. So I think they won't fall away a lot. They'll still be up there challenging. But I think in the end of the day, the way we're playing, I think it's between us and City, and I fancy us. If we play like we are playing now, like we did the first part last season, that I think this time he might get over the line.
Yeah, and I think there was a lot of complaints at the start of the season regarding how we were playing, and you highlighted that in what you just said. And I think that what Arsenal needed to do was find their rhythm, find how they were going to play differently this year, so that the problems that arose last year don't repeat themselves. And I think what you said regarding kind of running out of steam, and you know, we were losing players at the end of last season, and we lost Saliba, we lost Tomiyasu. I think Partey's form really dropped off a cliff as well, and Jorginho started coming into games at the end of the season as well. And this season, instead, what we're going to see is players start to come back at important times. We're close to getting Tomiyasu and Vieira back. Partey's back on the grass. Hopefully we can have Timber back next month as well and see what he can do in this team, which is really exciting. Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko I've not even mentioned, and been out for the last couple of games as well. It's exciting, isn't it?
Oh, very exciting. Yeah, I mean, really, truthfully speaking, with what he's done, I think going to Dubai,
yeah,
what he's done is what I think he's done is done the training for then getting into the tactical thing of playing like they did the first part of last season, but with the control as well, which they didn't have. So if he's putting those two things together now, and you see after Christmas, we've gone mad to a degree, scoring wise, winning wise, and everything else. I think that's where we're going to have the plus this season. I don't think we're going to run out of steam.
No, I think you're right, mate. I think you're right, Stephen. It's been an absolute pleasure to catch up with you. It always is.
As always, mate.
Are you coming to the live event on Thursday?
No, I won't be able to make it, mate. Unfortunately, as you know, things that had happened to me last year.
Of course,
it's a bit difficult for me to get out and about. Them sort of things. I'd love to go, obviously, but I'll tune in for it if there's a lot.
Yes, I'm hoping to have it recorded so people can catch up on it that aren't able to go. So yes.
Well, no, I'll try and catch the live one if it's coming out on live.
It will come. That's the hope that it will. Yeah, sweet.
All
right, Stephen. Pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, take care. Look after yourselves.
You too.
Come on, the Arsenal.
Come on, the Arsenal. Absolutely. Come on, you Gooners. Fantastic stuff. Thanks, Stephen. Let's tune into Abdul now. Is up next. How you doing, Abdul? You good, you well? Take yourself off mute, my friend. There we go. You good, mate?
I'm good. That's good. I'm a little bit. I don't know. I'm a little bit.
What are you a little bit? Tell me.
It's like I am hyped, but I'm also worried.
Cautiously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't want it to get out of hand because like you don't want to feel like you've won the league because we obviously we haven't, but we're doing really good, and this is what I want to see from Arteta. So this like I can finally say that I can see that he's actually been learning from previous mistakes and he's been looking to do the right changes at the right time. And what I mean by that is, so those defeats that we had in a row allowed him to take a step back. So obviously they were like not the greatest defeats. Obviously it was very upsetting, but I mean, sometimes the best way to learn what's wrong with your team is when you lose, right? And not just when you lose one game, when you lose multiple ones in a row. So that's what kind of like helps you assess more of the situation of like, what is this team missing? What do we need to do? And part of it was just like finishing, right? Just take your shot and finish. And I feel like we've been getting better at that. Odegaard is back to his old form where he takes the shot from outside the box or right at the line, which is good, right? That's what we want to see. We don't want to see him stop doing that, right? So we want to see that. We want to see Saka just do the one touch inside the box, finish with your right. He did that today, which is fantastic, right? And they just need to go back to how well they were playing before. It's just I don't know if they get lost in the sauce midway throughout the season. I'm not sure, but what happened is I'm pretty sure Arteta just took a step back. Whether it's in Dubai or whether it was here or wherever he did what he did, what he did the right thing, right? And that gives me confidence that he's the right manager to move forward with down the line, right?
Well, the last conversation we had, wasn't it? We were talking about the new contract, and we were talking about whether or not we should give him that new deal and when we should announce it.
It's these kind of things, Tom, that kind of gives you that reassurance that yes, the contract to him and a new contract would make sense. Again, it goes back to the point where we end up at the end of the season. Is he going to keep up this form, right? So keeping up this form. So I just want to see us in those two games and then it just dies out. I'm not saying we need to score 5 goals every single game, but we need to have an outstanding performance, whether it's 1-0, 2-0, but they're convincing wins, very convincing. You're still keeping that form, right? and that's what I want to see. I don't want to see us kind of pulling back from this. I want to see us keep that momentum going. That's what Man City does best, in my opinion. Is that towards the end of the season they pick up the gear and then they just don't lose a single match from this point onwards until the end of the season.
Yeah,
and that's what makes them so difficult to beat. And in this case, we really need to take it to them when we play them. We really need that win, and we really need that momentum to build that momentum before we play against them, because we definitely need to win. I don't think we can kiss the title goodbye if we do not beat them. Right? That's my own personal opinion.
No, I agree with
really
you.
really need it.
At the minimum, we can't lose that game. If we lose that game, I don't think we win the league. You know, at the very minimum, we have to avoid defeat at the Etihad. But how do you feel going into that game? I know we've got, I think, 3 league games, is it? Before we play them, we've got, just looking on the website now, we've got Newcastle, obviously, after Porto. We've got Sheffield United away, and then Brentford at home, which I think, and then Chelsea, but we may not have Chelsea depending upon if they beat Leeds in the FA Cup. That game could be postponed, which then leads into an international break, and that creates this really strange scenario where Arsenal come back off an international break to play City, which sucks. I hate the fact that we've got an international break right before that game. It's awful, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But the goals, 86 shots this year in the Premier League, 21 goals. So we're tracking at about 25% chance of a goal per shot we take, which is, you know, when you think about the issues we were having scoring goals, to look at that number and see we're just under 25% shot conversion is excellent.
Oh, 100%. 25% of shots turning into goals. That's a pretty good percentage. That's not a bad percentage at all to have. The international break kind of works both ways. If you're on a bad run, it's a good break to have, but if you're on a good run, it's an awful break to have. So it's like a double-edged sword kind of thing. Previously, in previous years, I was always happy when we went into international breaks because Arsenal was usually on a bad run.
Yeah.
But this time around, I'm like we're on a good run. We don't want to kill that momentum. But again, it works that way. But I feel like as long as we keep that confidence going within the players, within the team, and that we can beat Man City. And I don't want us to kind of play against them with the mentality that they're better than us, because they're not, right? If you keep this form up, we can definitely beat these guys. We can take it to them, and we can definitely deny them from winning the title this league, and we would end up winning it, right? So that's a dream.
Yeah, that's the dream.
I really hope we do get that. It's again, I don't want to get I'm hyped, but I don't want to kind of lose track of be cautious kind of thing, right? It's a
of course
cautious type kind of mentality, right?
Get carried away.
I've been I watched the game today with my dad, and I've been telling him, hey, listen, man, Arsenal is back, and they're gonna destroy every single team that's that steps in our way. So just I had the chance of
that's how it feels, though. It feels like that we can go into any game, and I just feel like Newcastle's a tough one, and Porto away is a tough one. But I tell you, both of those sides should be looking at Arsenal's form this year and thinking, bloody hell.
Exactly. Yeah. Right? Our defenders lit it up against West Ham. Our attackers today, they lit it up. So you got two sides going. Everyone's working. The midfield's working. Rice still keeping his consistency. It cannot. This is an insane form that we have right now. We just can't lose this form. If we just build on it, and if Arteta maintains it, then I'm telling you, he's the man to take us far, right? And I'm not saying winning the Champions League this year or next year, but as he builds the team and as he builds that structure, we will win it at some point within the next 3 years under him. But he just gotta show me that we can maintain this form. If we can maintain it, Tom, I'm all in. I am all in, 100%.
Abdul, pleasure as always. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Lovely stuff. There's a reason to fear Arsenal now. There really, really, really is. And when you score as many 21 goals in 5 games, you're averaging over 4 goals a game. You have reason to be afraid of another team. Let's bring an Advertus to the conversation. How you doing, mate? You good, Joel?
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Very good, my friends. How are you?
Yeah, I'm here just beaming with happiness, and I mean, it's great to be back and always on your show. And thank you for everything that you do every day.
Oh,
I
thanks,
try to
man.
catch it to be live, but then I always miss it because it's so early for me. But I still watch it every day. So thank you so
What
much for
time is it?
everything.
The 8 a.m. show for you?
It's 11:50 for you. The AM is 2 o'clock in the morning for me.
Oh, wow, that is
Yeah.
fair play.
I try
Fair
to
play
catch
to
it
you.
sometime, but I still come in 20 minutes or 30 minutes late somewhere in between. It's still good. At least I don't miss it, so that's the good thing.
Yeah, look, I fair play to you for tuning in that time because I'd be if I was listening to YouTube at 2 a.m. I'd be getting a punch in the side. That's probably what
Yeah.
I'd be getting. How do you feel about today's win?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I predicted it. I know we're going to win. It was an easy game on paper. Yeah, I know. I took 4-0, but a little bit first shot, 1 goal, so it's still a win. And I think something is just looking right now for me. I think when we had those slip in between the teams that we actually should have not lost to, and I feel that Ateta went back to the drawing board and say, "Hey
Yeah.
guys, this is our team. I put faith in you guys for the 2 years, and I brought you out to the team. Let's do. You need to work and make me proud." I think there was some pet talk and me one-to-one talk to everybody that he felt good, and and he felt good and told them that, hey, y'all need to prove me wrong. Y'all need to make me look good or maybe put my name out there because he really have faith in the player and now they are proving to you. I knew Sonny wasn't right somewhere in between because those games that we lost, man, those are so painful defeat, like,
But I
especially the
feel
way
like
we
we
play.
needed to. I feel like in
Yeah,
some way we needed to have those games because if we didn't have those games,
yeah,
maybe we
yeah.
wouldn't
It
be
was.
experiencing what we're experiencing now.
Yeah, maybe like I always say, there's a reason for everything. Something happened for a reason.
Mm,
So we're not gonna look back to it, but we're still gonna look back to it, prepare us to the movement. So like everybody been saying that Dubai trip was a rare needed trip. I think if we can get like 2 weeks in between, we can have one more that trip. It will really maybe help us going forward. Even if we don't win the title, like you always say, City is like a monster thing in that right
yeah.
now for the last. It's like they remind us for Bayern Munich and Juventus during those years. Then that's how they look right now. They are solid in every department. And also, I'm not mad if we don't win it. I think there's a change there. We need to stay optimistic out and just stay behind the balls and keep pushing them. Hey, guys, these guys are not better off than you. Better off than you guys. You can do it. And with that
Yeah.
momentum, I think they can pull out the surprise come if everybody stay fit, especially with everybody coming back.
Yeah, that's the key thing, isn't it? We got so many players coming back that enabling us to get stronger is brilliant. Advertus, thank you so much. It's so nice to hear the kind words from you as well. And
Yeah,
thank
and
you.
I want to let you know right now, I'm going to join to the membership, so at least I can be
Oh,
on
thanks.
every platform. Yeah, I'll probably do that right now, so I can be
Oh,
on every
thank you.
platform. Because I don't want to miss everything that you bring, all the information. Tom. Thank you ever so much for everything. And
Thank you.
I will try my best to catch it live. I'll probably try like 1 week, see what I can
If
stay
it's going to get you in
consistent.
trouble, don't do
Yeah,
it.
I'll try. No, I'll try my best. All right,
Thanks,
so you
mate.
thank you so much.
Take care. See you later.
Okay.
Amazing. Love that. Fantastic. This community always makes me smile. From the fact that we get like over 1,000 likes on the morning shows to messages like that from Advertus is fantastic. Goodness76 joins us now. Is always a good laugh, having a chat. How you doing, mate? You good as well?
You all right, mate? I'm good. I'll try not to swear. I just wanted to say...
That's why I wasn't to worry about with you.
I just wanted to say what you won't.
Oh, yeah.
Waka waka, hey, waka waka, hey, 60 million down the drain. Kai Havertz scores again.
Yeah, you nearly got me. I nearly got into it. I was going for it there, didn't you?
Come on, bro.
I've got to hold it. I've got to hold my word. If we win the league, I'm buying the away shirt. Havertz on the back. I'll sing the song. Not a problem.
What a good few games, though, eh?
Oh, how fantastic was it today, mate? 5 goals, 21 this year already in 5 games.
Mate.
Where do you see us going with this type of form?
If we can carry it on and we're getting players back, apparently, if we get Partey back, I think that's going to be a major thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that midfield.
I think we could push people very far, man. I just think the way we're playing at the minute, and I think Arteta's getting his tactics right.
What do you think his critics are thinking right now, eh?
I've been watching like Lawless getting roasted and stuff.
I felt bad for him after the 6-0. I really did. Yeah,
oh mate,
oh goodness
on
me.
Potts' channel, isn't it? It's just like wow.
Goodness, yeah. I really do. I don't know how I could go into a conversation. I mean, fair play for having the front to do it, but I 6-0 down. You got to do a podcast after it. Incredible. I imagine if we were doing these back in the days of the 8-2s and the 6-0s at home to Chelsea. Oh my dear! Like imagine that.
Oh my god!
But it does in a way. It shows you how far we've come. Like you think now we're dropping 6-0s and 5-0s down on a regular basis. Like, and that was always something I felt that we weren't doing compared to City. Like City would always score 4-5. Like if I'm doing like a Super 6 or whatever, you'd always put City 4-5. So how many they're going to score? With Arsenal, it was always 3-1, 2-1, 2-0. But now it's like, who knows how many we're going to score?
Exactly. They're all just clicking into place now, aren't they? And we've just got good players coming back, hopefully from injury. So, yeah, I wouldn't like to put a cap on how far we can go, man.
No, I don't think we should.
Hopefully, all the way.
Can I throw a comment at you? Nelson says, can the Kivior disrespect end now, please? Because I don't think we've mentioned Kivior on this show. And I remember doing a show in January where someone left a comment saying we should have kept Lino Souza and played him instead of Kivior. But how wrong does that look now?
No. Kivior has the last 3 games, I think, he's been awesome.
Yeah, when he came off the bench against Liverpool and then West Ham and now
and then went for that diving header for the goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, holy crap, bro. Yeah, but I think he's proper coming to his own. He's playing out of position because he's central.
He's a centre-back, yeah.
Yeah. So I think keep him, definitely. Definitely keep him. He's getting better and better.
How would you rate Havertz's performance? Because there's been a few people that have said that he's about.
I've just sang the song, bro. That goal was class.
What would you rate him out of 10 for this game?
8.
Yeah, I think I sit.
I think 8. He was in some real good positions. He was out of his position to receive the ball, and I think he played really well. And that goal for him. I know for him, but it was class, man.
Yeah, when I thought he got. At first, I thought he just got a little bit lucky with a ricochet, and then the ball fell out. But actually, no, he meant that nutmeg completely.
Yeah, he megsed him. Knew what he was doing. He megsed him and scored. It's like you can't take that away from him, isn't it?
Excellent stuff. Pleasure,
man.
Always to chat with you, and I look forward to seeing you on our next show, mate.
I'll see you on Thursday, bro.
Oh, I'll see you on Thursday. Love it. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Man. It's
gonna be a lot of fun.
Good.
See you later, mate. I'll see you on Thursday. Have a good one.
Ta-da.
Enjoy your evening. And thanks for swearing. And that's it. That's our hour. Some fantastic callers, some fantastic feels and vibes and positivity. It's it's just nice, isn't it? Like your weekend's just made up at this point when you can have conversations like that and you can just enjoy a 5-0 win after a 6-0 win, and then after beating Liverpool and after putting 5 past Palace. Yeah, the Palace game has kind of been forgotten a little bit as well. But it's the 3rd time in 4 games we've scored 5 or more goals. The 3rd time in 5 games? That's right? Because we beat Liverpool 3-1. We scored 3 in that one. And obviously one at Nottingham Forest, which is not an easy thing to do. 3rd time in 5 games we scored 5 or more. That's mental. That's so good. And I know it can all come crashing down in just one game, but, we got Porto next. I'm really intrigued to see what we do there because it's not an easy game. Away at Porto. Arsenal, by the way, have never won. Never won at Porto. It's never happened. Not in the days of, when Samir Nasri was jaunting through their team at the Emirates and putting that goal away. Not in the days of some of our best sides when they've gone to Porto. Never won there. In fact, I'm trying to think when the other game was when we played Porto. Arsenal, Porto, head-to-head. Let's have a quick look, shall we? Of course, tomorrow we'll be doing our usual 8 a.m. show. I'll be doing the breakdown, of course, of this game. I'll be celebrating as well that big win up against Manchester United in the WSL as well. Really, really important victory was that. And Jonas Ardeval, to be fair to him, got the tactics absolutely spot on. I was reading Tim Stillman's tweets before the game about how he was setting the team up to combat it, and it was perfect. Yeah, so our record against Porto is A 5-0 win. We like those when we played them at home in 2010. Of course, that's that Sami Nasri goal that you may remember. We lost the first leg in February 2-1 before we won 5-0 in the second leg. Then in December of 2008, in a group stage game, we lost 2-0 in Porto. Should we have a look at the lineup for that day? Tell you what, can anyone name any of the players that played in the 2008 2-0 defeat at Porto in the Champions League was it the last group stage game? One of the final ones, surely. I'll give you a few seconds to get some of your guesses into the chat box. And because I tell you what, there's some good names on this list that's going to bring back the nostalgic feels here. Is that long enough? I feel like that's long enough. I can probably go back into the chat after this. In goal, Manuel Almunia. In defence, and this is where it gets exciting, Emmanuel Abue, Mikael Silvestre, William Gallas, Johan Djourou. Yes, a back four of Abue, Silvestre, Gallas, and Djourou. That's what we did. That's what we did. Alex Song and Denilson and Diaby in midfield. Aaron Ramsey, Bentner, and Carlos Vela up top. I can imagine we must have already gone through, surely. On the bench, this is our bench that day, because sometimes what happens is if you've got like a poor side to put out. This was our bench. Lukasz Fabianski in 2008. So think about how young Lukasz Fabianski was back then. Gavin Hoyt, Kieran Gibbs, Fran Moreda, Mark Randall, Jack Wilshere, Jay Simpson. I think that's a 16-year-old Jack Wilshere, is it? I think maybe back then. Incredible. That's where Arsenal have come. And then the last time, the first time we played them in the Dragao was a 0-0 draw in 2006, again in December. Here's the team. The team that day in 2006 was Jens Lehmann in goal, Gael Clichy, Djourou, Abue, Kolo Touré, Cesc Fabregas, Mathieu Flamini, Gilberto Silva, Alexander Hleb, Freddie Ljungberg, and Emmanuel Adebayor. It doesn't give me the bench. All we know is that Robin van Persie came off the bench that day for Adebayor, and we drew 0-0 in Porto. I tell you what, there's some great names in the Porto lineup that day, though. I love this. Is great. After a 5-0 win, we can just chill and enjoy these kind of like left-wing things. Bruno Alves, Jose Bosingua, Pepe, Lucho Gonzalez. He was a FIFA classic. Raul Morales, of course, Chelsea. Helder Postiga, Lisandro Lopez, the Argentinian. Went to Marseille, I think, scored a lot of goals there. Ricardo Quaresma, who everyone thought was going to be the next Ronaldo. Incredible. What a team that was back then for Porto. But that's what we've got. That's what we've got next is Porto in the Dragao on Wednesday. And then Thursday is an even bigger day because it's the TGT live show in London. Looking forward to that. But tomorrow morning at 8 a.m, I'll be bringing you a Raw reaction show, giving you my breakdown of yesterday's, because it will be yesterday then, but today, as if you're listening now. But thank you to all my callers, all of our listeners today as well. Do drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. I'm now going to go back and sit and watch the end of the Chelsea game. Don't know what the result is. Don't know what the score is. All I know is Nicholas Jackson apparently missed an absolute sitter. Right, let's jump in. Let's jump out and shake it all about. Have a fantastic day. Speak to you soon. And as always, up the Arsenal. What a win. Waka waka.